This is Sports Scene 13.
Good evening. Welcome to Sports Scene 13 alongside Bob Gallagher. I'm Chris Larson. It's week 6 of the high school football season, and teams are already looking ahead to the postseason.
That's right, Chris. One team that will be in the playoffs are the Menomonie Indians. The defending Division II state champs closing in on yet another Big Rivers Conference title. Tonight, the Indians at home taking on the Chi-High Cardinals. On the Indians' first possession, Corey Gertz goes right through the heart of the Chi-High defense. He breaks it 44 yards into the end zone, and just like that, it's 7-0 Indians. Chi-High's defense, though, would get a stop, force the grounding penalty on Dan Thies, but on the Indians' very next possession, it's Joey Lehman to Dan Swanson in the flat. Swanson breaks tackles down to the Cardinals' 6-yard line. The very next play, it's Thies to Brandon Rathke for the touchdown as Menomonie goes to 6-0. They beat Chippewa Falls tonight, a final of 40-22. Down in Carson Park, the Eau Claire Memorial Old Age taking on River Falls. The Wildcats hosting the #1 ranked team in Division II. They are the Menomonie Indians. First quarter, they're on top 7-0 when Corey Gertz goes in from 7 yards out. Second quarter, great punt return by Dan Swanson. Going to take it all the way down to the River Falls 20-yard line, breaking a couple of tackles there. That sets up Gertz again. This time he goes in from 8 yards out as the Indians go on and beat River Falls, a final of 28-0. In the heart of the North
is our spotlight game. Also, Big Rivers Power Menomonie comes to Carson Park to take on Memorial. Bob Radovich, Reed Solberger in next with Sports Overtime.
And good evening. Welcome to Sports Scene 13. I'm Bob Gallagher. He's Chris Larson. Hard to believe, but the high school football regular season down to the final 2 weeks.
In the Big Rivers, Menomonie is 1 win away from locking up a share of the BRC title, while Eau Claire North needs a victory to keep their playoff hopes alive. Tonight, the Huskies and Indians meeting at Williams Stadium in Menomonie. First quarter, Menomonie off to a quick start. Corey Gertz goes around the corner and into the end zone. That makes it 7-0 Indians. Next, Indians drive. The Huskies defense gets nasty. Jordan Stelter sniffs out the option. Next play, same result. North reads the counter play, and they got it. Put the play to bed, but the Indians go for it on 4th down, and they get it. Corey Gertz right up the middle, untouched. Menomonie wins the game tonight, 48-18 over North. They head to Superior to wrap up their regular season next week. Down at Carson Park, Eau Claire.
Fender, paybacks.
4 from the 16. Corey Gertz gets to the end zone for the touchdown. Menomonie on top. Indians next drive. Once again, they go to Gertz, bouncing off of tacklers, slipping his way through. Look at this run. Deep. All the way down to the 10-yard line. More from Menomonie, more from Corey Gertz. Untouched for a second touchdown of the night. Menomonie.
Good evening and welcome to this special Tuesday edition of Sports Scene 13 along with Bob Gallagher. I'm Chris Larson.
The WIAA football playoffs have arrived, and we get started tonight in Menomonie, where the defending Division II state champion Indians begin the road they hope leads back to Madison. Division II bracket loaded with several of the state's top teams: perennial power Marshfield, Bayport, Ashwaubenon, Wausau East, and Germantown. Wallace, something to say about who wins the state title here in 2003. Tonight, the Indians opening level 1 at Williams Stadium, taking on Sparta. First quarter, it's scoreless until Corey Gertz gets loose, rumbles in from 15 yards out, and just like that, it's 6-0 Indians. Later on, Menomonie's defense swarming to the ball. A host of Indians making the stop there. On the Indians' next possession, it's Gertz again in from 20 yards out. It's 12-zip Menomonie, and they roll tonight over Sparta. Let's go to the scoreboard. 47-7 to final. They will play Sauk Prairie on Saturday. They beat...
Good evening. Welcome to this Saturday edition of Sports Scene 13. I'm Chris Larson. Thanks for tuning in. The Menomonie Indians are one step into the WIAA Division II playoffs and one step closer to defending their state championship. This afternoon is step 2 for Joe Labuda and the Indians. Menomonie hosting Sauk Prairie. Second half action, Sauk Prairie looks to get into the end zone, but Dan Swanson comes up with the interception off the deflection. It keeps the Eagles from scoring. Later on, the Indians in punt formation with the snap to Brandon Wood. He'll take it all the way down to the Sauk Prairie 2-yard line. That tricky Joe Labuda. No trickery in the next play, though. They'll go right to Corey Gertz and right into the end zone. He crashes in for the touchdown. Menomonie rolls over Sauk Prairie 49-15. They advance to level 3. Other half of the break.
In the second, Corey Geertz. Look at this kid. Great running, 22 yards, all the way down to the 1-foot line. Sets up Andy Miller, touchdown, 14-7 Indians. Later on in the second, Dan Swanson breaks it to the outside. Watch the moves that this kid has. Going into the end zone, break, accelerate. He's...
Good evening. Welcome to Sports Scene 13 alongside Bob Gallagher. I'm Chris Larson. The high school football matchup of the year is finally here.
Menomonie, last year's Division II state champ, met Marshfield, last year's Division I state title holder, in a level 3 showdown at UW Stout's Williams Stadium. Two coaches, the Indians' Joe Labuda and the Tigers' Lenny Lutke, synonymous with winning state championships, meeting for the first time. Take you out to Williams Stadium. There's Coach Labuda gathering his team at midfield prior to the game. That 17-degree temperature says it all. Very chilly there, but 5,000 fans packing down in Nona Williams Stadium. First quarter, it's a keep away by the Menomonie offense, cramming it right down Marshfield's throat. Corey Geertz will cap off a long touchdown drive. It's 7-0 in favor of Menomonie. The Indians' defense suffocating the Tiger offense. Mike Gust comes up with the quarterback sack. Later on, the Menomonie defense going to stop another Tiger drive. Nate Wayne and Eric Shervey going to combine for another sack. And these guys, well, you know what? They are my pick for the fans of the night. Looking real good there in the middle. Third quarter, it's still 7-0 Indians when quarterback Joey Lehman going to keep it himself. Takes it deep into Marshfield territory. Early fourth quarter now, it leads to this Ben Raymaker 31-yard field goal. Indians led 10-0 with 8 minutes to play. The lead is safe, right? Not necessarily. On the ensuing kickoff to Tigers, Chris Sandy going to fake the reverse. He bounces out to the outside, and he is gone. A 90-yard touchdown return. The Tigers right back in this football game. The lead from Menomonie cut to 4 at 10-6. Tiger fans finally something to be excited about, but on the next extra point, it is pulled wide left. That is huge for Menomonie. They keep a 4-point lead. Tigers get one last chance in the final minutes of the game. Quarterback Chad Rasmussen has his pass broken up on 4th down by Brandon Wood. The Indians, oh boy, they're excited. Coach Joe Labuda pumps the fist. And yep, the Indians knock off Marshfield, a final of 10-6.
I thought our kids were able to control the line of scrimmage and move the ball and keep their, they got a high-powered offense, keep them off the field. If you told me we were going to shut out this offense, I never would have believed that. Our kids did a great job, and our young defensive coordinator and his assistants did an awesome job.
Got to give Menomonie some great credit on defense. They really stuffed us. We didn't get our running game going. We couldn't get our passing game going. They put pressure on us all the time, and we never got anything going on offense. Bottom line.
There's that final again, 10-6. Menomonie will play the winner of tomorrow's Menasha and Bayport game. That gets underway tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. Well, the Eau Claire Regis...
Big games in the WIA football playoffs. Regis and Port Edwards, Menomonie, and Marshfield. Bob Bradovich has the highlight.
Game that almost didn't happen. Add 3 more students to Marshfield High School, and the Tigers will be playing in the Division I football playoffs. Marshfield took the D1 title last season. Menomonie, the state champ in D2. Indians and Tigers programs, 2 of the best in Wisconsin. Tonight they meet on Menomonie's home turf. Is that an advantage for the Indians? Well, Marshfield brings along shelter and heaters for its sideline. The second quarter, Menomonie capping off a long drive. Corey Geertz gets into the end zone from a yard out, 7-0 Indians. That's the score in the half. Barely gets it away. Great job by Kraft. And then he gets a good bounce. Menomonie covers it on the 8, 2:54 to go. Marshfield gets the ball out to the Tigers' 30. Third down, Alex Smith, the screen pass to Joe Knetter. Andy Miller snips that out to bring up 4th down. Last chance then for the Tigers, 4th and 9. $1:48 left. Chad Rasmussen looking deep down the middle for Mitchell Johnson, but Brandon Wood breaks it up with help from Ryan Olson. The Indians run out the clock from there. Menomonie wins it 10-6. Great game over at Williams Stadium tonight. The Indians advance to level 4 to play either.
Our young defensive coordinator and his assistants did an awesome job defensively.
The Indians improved to 12-0.
Going into battle with Bayport today, the Menomonie Indians had pretty much everything going in their favor, but one stat jumped out at me. Even though Menomonie had won 26 straight games going into today, their last loss was in the 2001 state semifinals versus Ashwaubenon at Wisconsin Rapids, site of today's game. but Coach Labuda doesn't really seem like a superstitious guy. The Indians force a Pirate turnover on the first series. Then Menomonie marches 95 yards. Corey Geertz gets into the end zone from 16 yards out, 6-0 Menomonie. After Bayport goes up 7-6 in the second, the Indians respond with a 6-play, 60-yard drive. Dan Thies, 21 yards to Tim Hartung for the touchdown, 12-7 Menomonie. Later in the second, Ben Ramaker kicks a 24-yard field goal. Indians up 15-7 at the half. Third quarter now, Pirates knocking on the door. Andy Jacklin plows in from 1 yard out, but the two-point conversion fails. It's 15-13 Menomonie. Joe Labuda's team drives downfield again, 12 Pele's, 71 yards. Geertz gets his second touchdown of the day to make it 22-13. The defense does give up another score, but then the Indians get two big stops late here. Pirates quarterback Jake Krause is picked off by Jordan Corning. Menominee's going to the state finals once again. 22-20 is the final from the Rapids. The Indians will play Germantown on Friday at State, and like their season as a whole, tonight's win was a total team effort.
You know, our kids really picked it up when the playoffs came, really peaked. This isn't a team with a bunch of all-state players on it. It's not a team with a bunch of stars on it. It's about a bunch of kids who really believe in each other and really play well together.
Overall,
After a dramatic 10-6 win over Marshfield last week, their level 4 opponent, Bayport, has shut out each of its 3 playoff opponents. These two football powers locking horns in Wisconsin Rapids this afternoon. First quarter, Indians put together a 95-yard drive. It's capped by Corey Geertz's 12-yard touchdown run, 6-0 Menomonie. First points allowed by Bayport in 29 quarters. Second quarter, Pirates take the lead. Jake Krause throws to Adam Brown, and he has it to the Indians' 1-yard line. Bayport scores to make it 7-6, but Menomonie comes right back. Dan Thies, perfect strike to Tim Hartung, 15-yard touchdown, and it's 12-7 Indians. Menomonie led 15-7 at the half, and in the third quarter, big play by the Indians D. Bayport scored. They go for 2, 15-13. The two-point conversion, no good. Andy Miller keeps Krause out of the end zone. It's 15-13 Indians. Late third quarter, Menomonie builds the lead to 9. Geertz, the 1-yard touchdown run. Indians lead it 22-13. Fourth quarter, Pirates trailing 22-20 with the ball, but Krause has his pass intercepted by Jordan Corning. Menomonie holds on, and Coach Joe Labuda and his Indians, they're headed back to Madison for the second straight year. They beat Bayport 22-20.
Our kids really picked it up when the playoffs came, really peaked. This isn't a team with a bunch of all-state players on it. It's not a team with a bunch of stars on it. About a bunch of kids who really believe in each other and really play well together.
So the Indians have a chance to repeat as state champs for the first time ever, and guess what? They get to play Germantown. Some great games between those two squads.
And what I wanted them to think about is, and I didn't want them to think about this particular scene at the end of their season. I wanted them to think about the things they accomplished, beating Marshfield, beating Bayport, scoring on Bayport after they had, not been scored on in 29 quarters. And it's one of those things where we didn't play our best game today, and we couldn't establish the run, and we were a running football team, and we couldn't stop their run, and that was the difference of the game.
We've been an emotional team and a team that always works together, and we just didn't come up with it today. I didn't feel like we were as emotionally ready as we should have been, and they played.
With it, great hopes for next season. At Camp Randall Stadium in Madison, Chris Larson, News Center 13 Sports.
Thanks.